Chapter 7. Stock Management. In this tutorial, you will learn how to build your inventory database from scratch. In the first part of this chapter, you will learn how to manage the inventory transactions, how to control the quantities and costs of goods sold, how to finish a complete cycle for a specific period of time, and how to generate reports. In the second part, you will learn how to build your theoretical consumption database by entering your recipes and production items recipes, how to generate comparative reports between theoretical consumption and real consumption. The Olive Inventory module will help you get the cost of goods sold, avoid waste and theft, and increase profits and control of the business. The inventory cycle is divided into two parts. First, real consumption. Here, all transactions will be taken into consideration except for the sales, and all the setup will be established except that of the recipes. The cycle begins with the beginning stock, that is the adjustment. Then purchases can be inserted, wastages, production, and requisitions, i.e. the transfers from one location to another. At the end of the cycle, whether it is monthly or weekly, perform adjustment again. The variance constitutes the value of goods spent during this cycle. In the second part, i.e. the theoretical consumption, sales will be added. For this purpose, the recipes should be previously added to the system. The same cycle steps apply, with one main difference, that the system will deduct the sales receipts from the stock. At the end of the cycle, when adjustment is made, the variance is revealed. The variance represents the difference between the theoretical consumption, calculated by the system, and the real consumption, based on the quantity on hand available in the stock. It is possible to compare theoretical consumption with real consumption based on goods spent during this cycle. The first part starts with the locations setup. Go to Setup, Locations. Here, notice the previously created locations available in the restaurant, such as the main store and the main kitchen. To add a new location, click on New. Insert the location name. Select the branch and click on Save. Notice here that the location bar was added here. The location is very important to identify the transactions made, such as purchase and sales, in order to detect the available and missing items of the relevant stock. To create units, go to Setup Units. Here, notice by clicking on the arrow next to the Select field the previously created units. These units are useful to classify inventory items. Take, for example, water. It will be sold in bottles. Hence, create the unit bottle. Soda is in cans, therefore create the unit can. Create the units kg and gram for the meat, etc. These units are hence created to cover how the item is bought, included in the inventory, sold, or used in recipes. To create a new unit, click on New, insert the name, for example, liter, and click on Save. This section explains how to create categories, divisions, groups, and items. To view how the system is organized, go to Setup, Tree View. Here, notice the categories available in the system, the divisions, the groups, and finally, the items purchased to be used as ingredients in recipes. Categories, divisions, and groups contribute in issuing more detailed reports, enabling to know, for instance, the quantity of purchased red meat the quantity of purchased meat in general, or the quantity of purchased food. This setup is consequently very useful for reporting. To create categories, go to Setup Categories. By clicking on the arrow next to the Select field, the previously created categories appear. It is possible to select a category, modify it, and then click on Save. To create a new category, click on New, insert the name. Select a category from the back office, and then click on Save. To create divisions, go to Setup Divisions. By clicking on the arrow next to the Select field, the previously created divisions appear. To create a new division, click on New. Insert the name. Select it under a category, and then click on Save. To create groups, go to Setup Groups. By clicking on the arrow next to the Select field, the previously created groups appear. To create a new group, click on New. Insert the name. Select it under a division. In case the items of this group are subject to tax, mark the checkbox next to the applicable tax to enable automatic taxing, and then click on Save. This section explains how to create items in the inventory. Click on Inventory Items. The Items page opens. To the left, it is possible to search for the available items. To create a new item, click on New. For example, to add a bottle of water, insert the item's name, select it under a group, select the buying format, i.e., how the item is bought. For instance, here select Box. Select the inventory format, i.e., how the item is listed in the inventory. For example, water is listed as bottle. Select as well the usage format, i.e., how the item is sold. For instance, water is sold in bottles. Notice to the right the field Quantity in Buying Format. As stated, box and bottle were selected here. In order for the system to identify the number of bottles in a box, insert the relevant number in the Quantity in Buying Format field. For instance, 24 bottles in one box. The Quantity in Inventory Format field is related to the inventory format and the usage format. Insert the relevant number. Here, insert number 1 because it is the same unit, which is the bottle. The list of units includes the units previously created in Setup Units. In the end, select the item's supplier and then click on Save. Another example. In case you would like to add the item ketchup, insert the name. It is possible to include the weight, useful for the search to recognize the item being purchased. Select the relevant group. Select the buying format, i.e., how the item is bought. For instance, here, select bottle. Select the inventory format, i.e., how the item is listed in the inventory. For example, ketchup is listed as bottle. Select as well the usage format, i.e., how the ketchup is used in the restaurant. It is an ingredient used in different recipes and is weighted in grams. Hence, insert the unit gram in the usage format. Notice to the right the field Quantity in Buying Format. Insert the number 1 to indicate the number of bottles. The Quantity in Inventory Format field shows the relation between the inventory format and the usage format, indicating the grams included in each bottle. Insert the net weight, for example, in this case, 350 grams, and select the item's supplier. Also notice the unit cost and the average cost that can be inserted manually in case the figures are available. Or when a purchasing operation is inserted, the system will automatically calculate the unit cost, which is the last cost paid for the item, in addition to the average cost. And when a new purchase is made, the average is calculated accordingly. When done, click on Save. A different example is that of juices. Insert, for instance, pineapple juice. It is also possible to indicate the included centiliters. Select the relevant group. Define the buying format, i.e., how the juice is bought. For instance, here, select Box. And select the inventory format, i.e., how the juice is listed in the inventory as bottle. In the field Quantity in Buying format, indicate the number of bottles in one box. Regarding the usage format, let's say pineapple juice is used in mixing drinks. Hence, the quantity used may be in centiliters. In case you don't need to use the whole bottle, select the unit centiliters in the usage format field, and indicate in the Quantity in Inventory format field the centiliters included in one bottle, for instance, 50 centiliters. In the end, select the item's supplier and then click on Save. Another example involves vegetables, such as onions. Click on New. Insert the description and select the relevant group. Regarding the buying format, indicate how the onion is bought. For instance, here, select kilograms, and select the inventory format, i.e., how the onion is listed in the inventory, in kilograms as well. Notice here that the Quantity in Buying format should be 1, since the buying format and the inventory format are the same. Then, indicate how the onion is used in recipes by selecting gram in the usage format field. Specify in the Quantity in Inventory format field the value indicating, for example, the grams included in 1 kilogram based on the relation between the inventory format and the usage format. For instance, 1000 grams. In the end, select the item's supplier and then click on Save. Another example involving vegetables, and that is not weighted in kilograms, is the lettuce. Select vegetables under Group. Indicate the buying format, which is in this case the unit, and select the inventory format unit as well. In the usage format field, it is possible to use grams. However, since this option cannot be accurate because lettuce weight is not the same, it is possible to indicate the portions that can be taken out of one lettuce. For example, one lettuce can make 4 portions of salad, hence select Portion in the usage format field. Indicate in the Quantity in Inventory format field the number of portions that can be taken out of each lettuce, which is in this case 4. In the end, select the item's supplier and then click on Save. The example tackled in this section is that of the meat, which loses its weight when used because some parts have to be removed. First, insert the description and then select the relevant group. Regarding the buying format, indicate that it is bought in kilograms. In the inventory format, also select kilograms. The Quantity in Buying format is 1. In the usage format field, use grams. Notice the yield percentage. For example, out of 1 kilogram of meat, 100 grams are being discarded. This means that each kilogram will effectively provide 900 grams. Enter 900 in the Quantity in Usage Format field. In the recipes, meat will be included in grams, and each time 900 grams are sold, the system will automatically withdraw 1 kilogram, hence solving the wastage percentage this way. The example that will now be evoked involves production items that are not bought the way they are, but are combined in the restaurant, such as the mayo lemon sauce. The first stage is to build the setup. Select the relevant group. Indicate the buying format and the inventory format in kilograms and the usage format in grams. In the Quantity in Inventory format, indicate that each kilogram contains 1000 grams. Select the item's supplier and then click on Save. The recipe of the production item shall be inserted. Click on the Ingredients button in the toolbar. Here, insert the ingredients. In the total quantity to prepare, insert, for example, 2 kilograms, and then indicate the constituents. For example, 2 kilograms of mayo lemon sauce are made of 1000 grams of lemon and 1000 grams of mayonnaise. When done, click on Save. The recipes of the production items are created in this manner. The present example involves items that are bought in one way and registered in the inventory in another way, such as soft drinks. For example, when you buy soft drinks, these might be Coke, Crush or Sprite, but when these items are sold on the POS, they are mentioned as soft drinks. You would like to use in the stock the designation soft drink. However, when you want to buy soft drinks, you want to buy them using each designation separately, such as Coke, Crush or Sprite. In order to do this, create the item soft drink and select the relevant group. Note that the same buying format, inventory format and usage format selected here shall be selected as well for Coke, Crush and Sprite later on. Insert box in the buying format field. Insert the number 24 in Quantity in Buying Format field, and insert bottle in the Inventory Format field. Select the item's supplier and then click on Save. Go to the tab entitled Calories. Here, mark the checkbox next to Master Item, which is the soft drink, and then click on Save. The next step is to search for the Coke. Notice here that the buying format, the inventory format, the usage format, the quantity in buying format, and the quantity in inventory format are the same as those selected for soft drink. Again, go to the tab entitled Calories. Select soft drink in the field linked to Master Item, and then click on Save. The same applies for Crush and for Sprite. It is possible to have more than one master item, and under each master item there can be as many items as needed. When purchasing soft drinks, Coke, Crush and Sprite can be bought separately. In the purchase reports, they will be mentioned using the same designation as they were bought. However, the stock will add the designation soft drinks. Later on, when selling on the POS, soft drinks will be taken out of the stock and the inventory will show soft drinks in total. The inventory items screens present multiple options, among which the minimum and maximum quantity that will be tackled later on in this chapter. Notice here to the right the info that includes the available quantity of the item in the stores and the total quantity. Notice here the weekly adjustment and the daily adjustment, in case you would like to list an expensive item in the inventory weekly or daily. Also, notice on the toolbar the button New and the button New As that allows to keep the description and modify the info of the newly created item. In case two items were created in the same group, with the same buying format and the same inventory format, hence simplifying the task. The Delete button allows removing an item that is not part of a transaction. The button Picture allows adding a picture for the item. The button Ingredients was tackled under Production Items. The History button allows detecting the activity related to each item in terms of sales, adjustment, purchase, wastage, and requisitions from one store to another. The button G is a shortcut to the Groups page. The button U is a shortcut to Units, in case you need to create a unit while creating an item. It is possible to access it directly from here. The same applies for Groups. The Tree View button is a shortcut to access the tree view. Notice here the buttons Substitute and Substitute Item and Transactions. Substitute used in case a specific brand of corn, for example, was usually used and this brand X is not available anymore on the market, and you had to substitute it with brand Y. By clicking on Substitute, which will be tackled later on, select the new item to replace brand X. All the recipes that included brand X as one of their ingredients will automatically include brand Y from now on. The same applies for Substitute Item and Transactions, with one main difference, that each transaction related to the initial item is now related to the new item. In case there was a production item made of different ingredients, it is possible to click on Print Ingredients to view the included ingredients. It is also possible to include the calories here. As you can notice, here at the top right corner of the page, if you click on the item's ID, the system will ask whether you would like to know this item is part of which ingredients. In case it is part of sales items ingredients, insert 1. The system will consequently show the list of recipes that contain this item. In case you would like to know this item is part of which productions, insert 2. Notice here in which productions this item is part. The next step is to create the suppliers. Go to Setup, Suppliers. Click on New and insert the name of the supplier. It is also possible to insert all relevant information, such as the contact name, the address, the phone number, and most importantly, insert the default currency. Implying that each time a purchase is made from this supplier, the currency selected here will be adopted. It is possible to change it in the purchase. In case you know that the invoices of this supplier are in dollars, select dollar as currency. Here, mark the checkbox next to VAT Register, in case this supplier's invoices include VAT. Insert the VAT number. When done, click on Save. Here, it is possible to view the previously added suppliers. By clicking on History, it's possible to view the last invoices paid to this supplier, as well as the bought items. Transactions will be tackled in this section according to the inventory cycle. In the inventory cycle, we started with the adjustment to insert beginning stock, and then moved to purchase, wastage, production, and requisition To go back to adjustment again at the end of the cycle to know the variance and consumption during this cycle. Inside the inventory, go to Adjustments. Select the store. Select the location where you would like to insert the beginning stock. And search for items for which the beginning stock has to be entered. In the field next to Find, insert the item's name. Insert the quantity according to the units. Then search for another item the same way. For example, Coke in bottle, and for all other items. After inserting all beginning stock, click on Save. On the printed report, notice the new quantity value. To insert purchases, click on the button Purchases. Insert the elements as shown on the invoice. First, search for the supplier. Then, select the location where these merchandise should head. Make sure the right currency is selected. Insert the invoice number here. Choose the invoice date, and then fill in the items. The last cost of the item appears here. The tax value appears in case it was subject to tax. It is also possible to insert remarks, if any, by clicking on Enter. The item is inserted and can be seen in the list and is included in the total. Repeat the same steps to insert all items included in the invoice. In the end, compare the tax and the total with those of the invoice to make sure the values are the same. When done, click on Save. The invoice will be saved but will not affect the stock. Or click on Save and Post to include the quantities in the stock. Another example will be tackled regarding inserting the invoice. Make sure the right location is selected, as well as the date. In case the price was modified, insert the new price. Insert the discount on the concerned item, if any. In case the same item is bought from different suppliers, and you would like to know the different prices, by clicking on this button, it is possible to view the history of this item. The relevant supplier, the lowest price, and the last price from each supplier, as well as the relevant date, to be able to make a comparison and evaluate the prices. When done, click on Enter. In case there was a discount made on the whole invoice, insert the discount at the top of the page. The system will do the calculations. The discount inserted here is in percentage, and the discount inserted by item here is an amount. In case there was the total price of the items, for example, 10 boxes were bought, the total price of the 10 boxes is shown. Mark the checkbox next to Price. Insert the total price. The system will automatically calculate the unit price. As noticed here, the unit is in buying format. In case there was any note on the invoice, it is possible to insert these here. In case you would like to cancel the discount, click on Clear Discount. Notice here the button Other Costs. In case there was freight, customs or other costs on the invoice, it is possible to add the cost on each item alone or on the whole invoice. When posting the invoice, when the quantities are inserted, the item's cost will be modified and will take into consideration freight, customs, and other costs. In case you would like to view the previously inserted invoices, search for the supplier. Then click on the Preview button. All purchases made appear here. In case you would like to view the purchase details, double-click on the concerned purchase. Notice here that all inserted invoices with their relevant number and total are available here. Notice under this column whether they are posted or not. In case they were posted, such as this invoice, it is not possible to modify them unless you click on Unpost. In case an invoice is not posted yet, it is possible to modify it, edit it, or apply any changes, including adding. When an invoice is definite, click on Post One Invoice. In case there was more than one invoice and you would like to post them at the same time, click on Post All. In case the items were listed according to their supplier and you would like to insert them easily, click on Select Item. Here, all items bought from this supplier are listed. Insert the purchased quantity along with the cost. Click on OK. The purchase page is automatically filled. Insert the invoice number and then click on Save. In case this invoice is repetitive, i.e. the same items are always bought from this supplier, it is possible to store it as recurring transaction. Insert a title. It is possible to recall the recurring transaction, which is saved here whenever needed. The recurring transaction opens directly. In case there was any modification, make the changes, insert the new invoice number as well as the date, and when done, click on Save. In case you would like to place a purchase order for the supplier, on the Purchases page in the Transactions part, select Purchase Order. Select the supplier. And select the date, location, currency, and items. After inserting the order, click on Save, and then print the purchase order in order to send it to the supplier to prepare the ordered items. By clicking on Preview, all purchase orders can be seen. When the ordered items arrive, to insert the invoice, go to Purchases, select Purchase Order, select the supplier. Click on Preview. Select the previously made purchase order. Select Invoice in the Transaction field instead of Purchase Order. Insert the invoice number and the date. It is possible to perform modifications in case of missing items, different quantities or prices. When done, click on Save. It is also possible to print the invoice to keep it as a reference. When purchasing from a supplier, his account increases. In case you would like to pay the supplier and insert the payments in the system, click on Payment. Select the supplier for whom the payments are due. Here, the due amount appears. Insert the paid amount and click on Save. By clicking on Reports here, it is possible to issue a statement of account for the supplier. Select Statement of Account. Select the start date and the end date. Select all suppliers or select a specific supplier and click on Preview. Here, notice in the Statement of Account the invoices, purchases, payments, and total amount due to the supplier. It is also possible to view Vendor Aged under Reports to know the amounts due to all suppliers shown in a list of suppliers with the relevant due amounts. Moreover, it is possible to issue the amount paid. Select the start date and the end date and click on Preview to view the total amount paid. In the end, it is also possible to view the Accounts Summary, where the table shows the amount due to each supplier along with the totals. To move items from one store to another, click on Requisitions. Click on New. Set the date. Insert the requisition number. Select the location from where you would like to move items, and select the locations where the items shall be moved. Then search for items to be moved. Insert remarks if any. Proceed in the same way for all items. Notice here that the unit is based on the item's inventory format. After inserting all items, click on Save, and then click on Print. The following sheet is printed, enabling to receive the products in the bar. In this case, 10 Pepsi bottles were moved to the bar, as well as 10 Crush bottles. 10 bottles of these two items were removed from the store. In case you would like to preview the previously made requisitions, click on Preview at the top of the page. Click on Preview again here. Choose Show All Requisitions. The made requisitions appear. It is also possible to search for the requisition by inserting its number, then clicking on Preview to view the results. Double-click on the desired requisition to view it again. It is noteworthy that it is not possible to perform any modification on an old requisition. However, it is possible to cancel the whole requisition by clicking on Reverse Requisition. Select the requisition to be reversed. Take, for example here, requisition number 5, which was made from the main store to the bar. It will be reversed from the bar to the main store. Hence, this requisition is cancelled, and the same quantities sent will be returned to the store. In case the requisition was repetitive, and you would like to save it to be able to use it again whenever needed, or in case the requisition made was not final, and you would like to store it to be able to finalize it later and save it, click on New. Insert the requisition as usual, and when done, instead of clicking on Save, click on Store as Recurring Transaction. Enter a description, and then click on Save. This requisition is hence saved and stored without affecting the stock. It is possible to print the requisition by clicking on Print Recur, which is the red print button. in case you would like to check its content before finalizing it. When you want to confirm the requisition and save it, click on Recall the recurring transaction. Find the requisition, double-click on it. The requisition opens. It is possible to edit the quantities, insert different items, and most importantly, insert the requisition number, and when done, click on Save. In case you would like to record the waste arising from the restaurant, click on Wastage. Then click on New. Choose the wastage type. For example, here select Inventory Item, in case, for instance, tomatoes are rotten and you have to get rid of them, or in case an item's expiry date has passed. Sales items are those intended to be sold in the restaurant. However, you had to get rid of them for various reasons. For example, in case a dish fell on the floor, or in case a customer did not like a dish and returned it back. Employee meals, intended for the employees, can be inserted as wastage. Free items can also be inserted as wastage. Product test, in case the chef has prepared dishes to be tasted. Insert the wastage resulting from inventory items. Insert the quantities, for example, 500 grams of tomatoes. Notice that the unit is the same as the one used in the inventory format. Insert, for example, 2 cans of corn, and indicate in the remarks field that the reason is related to the expiry date. And when done, click on Save. It is possible to issue a wastage report to be approved by the manager. By clicking on Preview here, it is possible to view all the wastage resulting from inventory items. It is also possible to select items and print relevant sheets. However, it is not possible to modify them. Insert the wastage resulting from sales items. Note that the remaining 4 types of wastage work in the same way and revolve around items to be sold and not inventory items. Select the item being wasted. Insert the quantity. Insert the reason. And when done, click on Save. Select the price level relevant to these products and click on OK. It is also possible to issue a report. When wastage is inserted under Sales Item, the system will automatically eliminate all the ingredients of this item in case they were previously inserted. The same process applies for the remaining types, and wastage can be previewed in each type. When the inventory cycle is done, you should enter the ending stock and insert the inventory in the system. Go to Adjustments. In case the inventory is made at the beginning of the month, click on Adjustment Date. The system will ask you if you want to make the inventory according to the selected date. Click on Yes. Select the date, then select the location. Notice here the quantities that already existed on this date, based on the calculations made by the system. Now to insert the new quantities. Click on New Quantity. Insert each item's relevant quantity. The system automatically calculates the variance. When done, click on Save. The system will ask again to confirm that the date of the adjustment is different than the one on the system. Click on Yes. It is also possible to print the variances. In the field next to Include, select between Weekly Adjustment and Daily Adjustment. It is also possible to search by category or by division. For example, beverages under categories. Or select the division to be listed in the inventory. The inventory can be made using a handheld data collector. The transaction can be imported by clicking on Import from Handheld, along with all adjustments made using the data collector. To get the food and beverage cost result, a stock adjustment should be done at the beginning of each month. The variance value is that of the cost spent on food and beverages. Compare the cost to the sales by category to know the food and beverage cost percentage. To get the results, two reports will be used. The first is Sales by Category, which is found by clicking on Reports, Sales, Menu, and Sales by Categories. The second report is Inventory Report Periodical, Summary by Category, which is found by clicking on Reports, Management, Inventory Report Periodical, and Summary by Category. It is noteworthy that the dates should be previously selected. Let's take an example of the sales by categories. Notice the beverages sales amount and the food sales amount. Compare the results with those of the periodical report, which indicates the consumption and its value for both beverage and food. Divide the cost by the sales value to get the cost percentage of the food and that of the beverage. Let's take a few examples about reports. First, transactions reports. Consider, for instance, the purchase report. Note that there are different purchase reports. This one shows purchases by date with all details and shows the items bought from each supplier. At the end of the report, the total by category, the total by supplier, and the total by purchases are shown. This example illustrates the inventory items wastage report. It shows all the wastage that occurred to inventory items, along with the remarks and the total value. This example illustrates the sales items wastage. Notice here the items that underwent wastage, along with remarks, if any, the quantity, and the total price. This example tackles the adjustment report. Notice here the adjustments that took place, along with the relevant dates. These adjustments are divided by category. Also, notice the variance and its value under the cost and the average cost. The requisition report by location is one of the different requisition reports. Notice here the initial requisition location and the final requisition location, along with the requisition number, items details including the costs and the total cost, average cost, and the total average cost. At the end of the report, notice the grand total of all requisitions. This example illustrates management reports, such as the inventory report that shows the stock value on this date, along with quantities, costs, items classified by categories, divisions, and groups. At the end of the report, notice the stock's total value. In case you would like to view the stock value of another date, a former date, issue the Inventory History Report, which shows the stock value on a previous date of your choice. This example illustrates the price variation, showing the item's price variation according to the made purchase operations. The prices are represented in a chart. It is possible to view as well the item's price at each purchase operation. This report is useful to control the prices and conclude whether the supplier's prices are reasonable or not. This example illustrates list reports, such as the list of inventory items, where all inventory items available in the system, along with their costs and the relevant supplier, are listed. Another very important list report is that of the inventory worksheet. This report is useful for the inventory. Insert the quantities enabling to easily include the inventory data in the system. The second part tackles theoretical versus real consumption. This part will explain how to create a setup to be able to deduct the sales. It will also explain the production and the way to get results in this case. First, the setup. To insert recipes, click on Recipes. The first step is to search for the sales item for which the recipe is inserted. For example, you would like to insert the recipe for chicken sub. After selecting the item, click on the Ingredients button placed on the toolbar. To insert the recipe, search here, for example for chicken breast. Insert the quantity. Note that the unit used here is that of the usage format. Then insert remarks, if any. The same process applies to insert all other ingredients needed for the recipe. When done, click on Save. In case you would like to modify the quantity, double-click on the concerned quantity, insert the correct quantity, then click on Save. In case you would like to remove an ingredient from the recipe, select the concerned ingredient and then click on Delete. In case you would like to insert the recipe for green salad, for instance, as you may well know, the green salad contains ingredients in common with other salads or items. Click on the button Same As. Select the item whose composition is close to that of the green salad. Modify, add, or remove ingredients when needed, hence saving time and effort. In case you would like to move to another item, click on Search for Sales Items. Insert the name of the item for which you would like to insert the recipe. Notice here the price levels. If you remove the mark in the checkbox next to Update All Modes, it is possible to insert a different recipe on each price level. This is particularly helpful in case, for example, Price Level 1 was previously set for takeaway. Price Level 2 was previously set for tables. In case you are using quick service, you might want to include plastic forks and disposable dishes. The recipe will be different than the one presented in the restaurant. Or maybe the ingredients to be presented in the restaurant are different than those intended for takeaway. Hence the usefulness of determining different price levels with different ingredients. To allow automatic stock deductions, A number of steps must be checked in advance. These steps are found in the inventory under Checklist, Checklist for Inventory Reduction. Under Points to Check, make sure in the first point that in the configuration the Update stock is checked either online or at EOD. This point has to be checked with Omega Software Support Team. The second point consists of making sure all items are assigned to a logical printer, Printout 1. The third point consists of making sure that in workstations all logical printers are assigned to locations. In the last point, make sure all sales items have recipes. How to insert recipes was tackled before. At this stage, we'll see how to check the remaining points. On the Items page in the back office, make sure all items are assigned to a logical printer, Printout 1, as shown here. It is possible to view reports existing in the list. Make sure in the Programming Summary report that all items are assigned to a logical printer, Printout 1. Another step is to make sure that in workstations, all logical printers are assigned to locations. For example, notice here that this logical printer is not assigned to a location. Select a location and click on Save. Note that the selected location is the one from where items are taken out. For example, bar log is the location where all bar items are taken out. Select bar in case you don't want to take items out of the main store. Make sure locations are correctly set on all active workstations, and make sure all workstations' numbers have the right locations. It is possible to test your settings. Here, notice how to take note of the quantity on hand, how to perform a transaction in the POS, run the end of day, and make sure the item was taken out of the stock. This is the best way to check up the link with sales. The same transactions made in the first part will be tackled here, with one main difference, that the sales made in the POS will be taken out of the stock based on the recipes inserted in the system. Production, product request, inventory sales, expiry date management, and reorder suggestion management will also be tackled. Production involves the preparation of the quantities of production items previously mentioned, such as the source. Production items are not items bought or sold on the POS. They are items prepared to be part of our recipes. Click on Productions. Click on New. Notice that there are two types of production. The first is based on recipe, and the second is reversed production. The production type based on recipe will show, when choosing the item, all inventory items for which you inserted recipes, such as lemon mayo sauce or tomato sauce. Select the location where the sauces will be added and from where all sauce ingredients are taken. It is also possible to select the user who prepared this production item. In the Quantity field, insert the quantity prepared by the chef, and insert remarks in the relevant field, if any. Insert the production date, and when done, click on Produce. In case the quantity of the recipe items is not available in the store, the system will warn you that it is missing. However, it is possible to continue. When done, click on Save. It is possible to print a report detailing this production, showing the prepared production item, the quantity, as well as the consumed items to prepare this quantity. The system automatically calculates the amount of used ingredients in the prepared quantity, indicating the quantity to be extracted from the stock. It is possible as well to print the label. By clicking on Print Label, the description can be included. In case you would like to sell it, insert the selling price. Insert the quantity. For example, each container contains 1 kilogram. Insert the production date along with the shelf life, and then click on OK. Notice here the report, which can be printed on a label printer. Notice the item's description, the production date, and the expiry date, as well as the quantity. In case a price was included, it will appear here. This label can be fixed on the relevant containers, indicating their expiry date. Before preparing a production item, insert the quantity to be prepared. Select the relevant item and click on Compare the requested quantity with the quantity on hand. A report appears detailing the quantities needed to prepare this production item, and the quantity on hand, enabling you to know whether it is possible to proceed with the production. In case you would like to store the production without saving it, after clicking on Produce, instead of clicking on Save, click on Store as Recurring Production. Insert the relevant description. The frequency, for example, weekly, and then click on OK. When you want to use it again, click on Recall Recurring Production. Double-click on it to view details. In case it is final, click on Save. In case you would like to prepare several productions at the same time, click on Multiple Productions. Here, it is possible to search for all available production items. Double-click on the item from which you would like to prepare a production. Insert the quantity. Make sure the location is correct. Insert the production date. Insert remarks, if any. The same steps apply for the other production. Click on Make Production, and when done, click on Save. It is possible to view a report detailing the productions made. By clicking on Preview, it is possible to view and print the productions made. To reverse production, insert the quantities manually. Select the location and the user. Here, in the Items field, select the item to be prepared. Insert the quantity. Insert manually the composition of this item. And when done, click on Save. When the chef or the bar manager would like to order products, check if these products are available in the store or have to be ordered from the supplier. Go to Action, Product Request. Select the user ordering the products. Indicate the location in the specified field. Search for the item to be ordered. Insert the quantity. Insert remarks, if any. The same steps apply for the remaining items. After inserting the entire order, click on Save. The manager is the authorized person to approve the product request. Go to Action, Preview Product Request. Click on the requested product. The manager has to approve the items ordered by the chef by clicking on Approved. Afterwards, it is possible to convert it into a requisition or into a purchase order. In case you choose Convert to Requisition, select the location from where the requisition has to be made. The system will indicate the requested quantity, the quantity on hand, and the quantity to be purchased. For example, the chef requested 1 kilogram of lemons. The quantity on hand is 0.53 kilograms, which means that the quantity to be purchased is 0.47 kilograms. When done, click on Convert to Purchase Order. The system will automatically create a requisition of the quantity available in the store. This requisition can be saved. If you go to Purchase Order, notice that the system has created purchase orders that include the missing quantities. Notice here that the supplier for whom the purchase order is addressed is the one for whom these items are assigned. The purchase order can be saved, printed, and sent to the supplier to be prepared. The purchase order can be edited before sending. A product request for the bar can be made in the same way. In case you don't want to take the products from the store and you want to convert them instead into a purchase order, after saving and getting the approval, you can automatically convert the request into a purchase order without creating a requisition. In case you would like to sell inventory items to customers, click on Sales. Click on New. Search for the customer. Select the location. Select the date. Insert the reference number. Insert notes, if any. Choose the currency and insert the items. Search for the items to be inserted. Insert the quantity. Modify the price if needed. Insert the discount for each item separately, if any. Click on Enter to move from one field to another, and when done, click on Enter. While entering the invoice details, in case an item is entered by mistake, click on Clear Item. In case you would like to cancel a previously entered item, click on Undo. Discount percentage can be made in the same way as discount by item. Insert, for example, 10%. The system automatically calculates the discount percentage. It is also possible to clear discount. Discount amount can also be made. Insert the relevant amount. The system automatically deducts the amount from the total sum. When done, click on Save. The invoice can be printed to be handed to the customer. In case this invoice is final, click on Post to register the quantities in the store. In case you would like to preview previously inserted invoices, search for the customer. Click on Preview. Here, notice all the invoices made for this customer. Some of the invoices are posted with the status True, while others are not posted with the status False under the Posted column. In case you would like to post one of these invoices, select it and then click on Post One Invoice. It is also possible to post all invoices that are not posted. Another button allows to Show Not Posted Invoices, enabling to view only the invoices that are not posted. In case you would like to view an already posted invoice, after viewing its details, it is possible to print it. However, it is not allowed to modify it, save it, or add items. On the other hand, you can modify not posted invoices, add items, modify the item's quantities or prices, or even delete these invoices. In case a customer always asks for the same items, it is possible to store the invoice as recurring transaction. Insert the invoice name. When you want to use this invoice again, click on Recall Recurring Sale. Apply the needed modifications and click on Save, hence saving time and avoiding inserting repetitive invoices. In case you would like to perform expiry date management, go to Inventory Items. Mark the checkbox next to Expiry Date. Take, for example, the item Pepsi. When purchasing this item, insert the quantities. The system will ask about this item's expiry date. Select the expiry date, click on OK, then click on Save and post the invoice. The system runs based on first in, first out method, i.e., the items with the soonest expiration date will be sold first and removed from the system. In case you would like to adjust the expiry date, go to Action, Item Adjustment Expiry. Select the location. Notice here, for example, that there are 240 bottles whose expiry date ends on May the 1st. In case there was actually 120 items whose expiry date ends on May the 1st, it is possible to insert the quantity or even modify the date in case the expiry date is earlier than the one listed. Insert, for example, April 25th and click on Save. All the adjustments made on the quantity here will not affect the real quantity of the items, since you did not change the whole quantity, but rather the part whose expiry date changed. To view the items whose expiry date ends soon, go to Action, Item Stock Expiry Warning. Here, define the number of days and click on Go. For example, if you insert 30 days, the system shows the items whose expiry date ends within this time frame, such as Pepsi in this case. This report can be saved or printed. This report can appear when you run the inventory system, if you check the relevant option in order to be able to check the item's expiry date daily. Under Inventory Items, it is possible to insert the minimum and maximum quantity of an item in each store. For example, the inserted quantity of Coke in the main store is minimum 15 and maximum 30. In the bar, minimum 50 and maximum 100. Regarding all items for which you insert minimum and maximum quantity, when you go to Reports, Management, Reorder Suggestions, a report will open indicating the quantity to be ordered of these items. For example, the quantity of Coke for the main store, or the quantity of Pepsi in the main kitchen, because it is less than previously defined as minimum quantity for this item. The result that you will get in case you enter the recipes will be more specific. You can get the difference between the actual food and beverage cost based on the actual consumption and the ideal cost based on the recipes. In case you get a big difference, the chef is not using the correct recipes, the recipes you entered to the system are not correct, or the store is not well controlled and there is a lot of waste and theft. There are two parts to get the result. First, to get the real consumption, the same steps tackled at the beginning of the chapter apply. Issue the report Summary of Sales by Categories to view the beverage and food sales. And then issue the Inventory Report Periodical. Notice that the Inventory Report Periodical differs from the one issued in the first part, since here you can notice the sales subject to deduction. The real consumption value of the food and beverage is useful to deduce the profit and the cost percentage. In the report Theoretical Profit by Category, it is possible to view the cost theoretically, i.e., without taking real consumption into consideration, but based on the inserted recipes and the sales made based on the recipes. The cost, profit, and profit percentage are mentioned here. Notice here the cost of beverages, and here that of food. This is the theoretical costing and profit. The support team will answer any questions you have. Please send the questions to support@omegapos.com.